This is the Vinyl Chamber podcast with Matt and Steph.
We're going to move on now to I Feel For You. That was, of course, written by... this version was sung by Chaka Khan. I think I said at the outset that this was a year not only where the artists of the new artists of the time were featuring, but also it was a good year for established American acts like Stevie Wonder, like Tina Turner, like Ashford and Simpson, Lionel Richie, and Chaka Khan's another example of that.
Yeah.
But this is a song, of course, which was written by Prince, and it originally appeared on his eponymous second album. And the demo version of the song was released in 2019. And so what I'm minded to do, with your permission, Matt, as editor-in-chief, would be to start off by playing that, the Prince version, and then, again, I'll do a seamless edit into the Chaka Khan version, which, of course, we're going to be talking about.
All I wanna do is Chaka Khan. Let me rock you, Chaka Khan. Let me rock you, 'cause I feel for you, I feel for you.
All right, well, I think we feel duty-bound to talk about the Chaka Khan version at some point, but I want to talk about that Prince version. I mean, that guitar work was outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd heard that once many years ago, that version, but absolute quality there from Prince. Great guitar playing, really good.
And the chords, I mean, the movement in the chords as well.
Yeah, exceptional. And look. To be honest, Steph, it's an interesting comparison because to me, there's a microcosm there of much of what to me was a problem with the 80s. They've taken a very pure, beautiful song with Prince playing some wonderful guitar, and you can hear that musicianship and those chords. And then 4 years later, we've got this, what I think is, again, an overproduced, almost, dare I say, fake sound. With again, highly production techniques, saved I think by some wonderful harmonica playing by Stevie Wonder. But overall, to put the two songs, it's probably unfair to actually put this because they're almost like two different songs. But to me, the Prince version knocks that one into a cock's hat. The Chaka Khan one, because it's Chaka Khan one. Just leaves me a bit cold, really. I mean, Chaka Khan, as you say, was established. She came out of Chicago. Yvette Marie Stevens was her name, and she'd been in those various bands, including Ask Rufus, which I think then became Rufus. And
right,
I think she actually had a decent voice, actually, Chaka Khan. I've been a bit sort of critical of the actual interpretation of the song, but I think she had a pretty good voice, and she had that wonderful. Hit right at the end of '78, "I'm Every Woman," which I think was a very good, a good number. But I don't like this interpretation of a wonderful song by Prince, and I remember not liking this interpretation at the time. Here, let's have a quick look at the album cover, by the way. Sorry, the single there.
Oh, I like the artwork.
Yeah, some nice artwork on there, isn't it? That was some good artwork on there, but to me, I don't particularly like this. But again, huge at the time. People went mad for it. I remember again at Cardiff. I remember people. There was a guy. Hello, Justin. You like this one? There was a guy just down the corridor from us called Chris, who always had the sort of like the state of the art sound systems, and he loved this song. And I remember him doing that strange. Do you remember that strange almost move of? Do you remember, Steph? You remember that move of the shoulders? People used to do that kind of move like that. He used to do that. Mate. No. Well, it's totally anathema to me at the time and still is. But he loved this song, and I couldn't escape from it because he was just 2 doors down the road from me. So he played it all the time in the halls of residence, much to my utter disdain.
Yeah.
But I will remember this for the Prince version. If anyone wants to check these songs out, check out the Prince version first.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find out who was doing the rap on it, and it's not immediately obvious from this list.
It's not Melly Mel, is it? I mean, Grandmaster Melly Mel, is it?
Something like that.
It's Grandmaster Melly Mel, I think, is on it.
Oh, is it? Okay. Here we go. Yes, no, you're quite. That's track 6. Yes, you're quite right, mate. Yeah, it is.
Grandmaster Melly Mel, and I think it's produced, isn't it, by the American-Turkish producer Arif Mardin?
Yeah.
Whose CV includes work with a huge amount of names of the 70s and 80s. And again, I think it's almost in the same filing under Relax and Two Tribes that you can appreciate some very, very sophisticated production techniques, which is clearly and I think we do have to look at the wider industry here. We talked about CDs. I think we have to look at how the wider industry sonically was embracing sounds that play better ostensibly on a CD with that compressed, supposedly superior sound, which is a debate that can still rage with vinyl purists. I never took. I was a latecomer to the CD thing, as you can imagine. I'm a latecomer to every form of technology. I cling on to the original for as long as I possibly can.
Yeah.
But I was decrying. I was not a fan of this move towards tight compression, slick, kind of overproduced sound, which I felt sucked the life out of a lot of songs. That people will argue vehemently that I'm completely wrong, and actually the production techniques of the time were drawing out the extra sound. I just felt it was a soulless development.
I actually don't remember being particularly enamoured with this at the time, but then I probably just didn't understand rap at the time. I didn't really understand anything very much, and I was still, but I was just come of age. But listening back on this, I have kinder ears for this, and I think that technically it's actually quite good. It's and I do enjoy listening to it. Oh, well, I've enjoyed listening to it for the purposes of analysing it, but again, I probably wouldn't listen to it in the car. But no, that I think that we made an appropriate nod there to the origin of this song, and And
You
that
know what's
I
happened
think
to Chaka
looms.
Khan, by the way, Steph? Have you got an easy way of finding out there? What's happened to her?
She's still going. She's still going.
Is she?
She is now 72, and she is still working by the looks of it. Let's see when her last album came out in 2019.
Good for you, Chaka Khan. Well, it's number one for 3 weeks, wasn't it? 10th of November to 1st of December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Great. And I know you like this next one.
Well, this next song is the reason why I lobbied for doing this year. Apart from the fact that 1984 was a big year for me, it was a big year for you, and I like it's quite a compact year as well. Which meant we've been able to spend more time. I like to feel that we spent more time. Certainly, I've been able to devote more time to each song, thinking about them and listening to them again. But the main reason, as I said, that I lobbied for this is because of this next song, and I can't act. And I've always loved it at the time. I just loved this. Now, this wouldn't have been guilty of the overproduction that you've just been lamenting quite justifiably. But I can't tell you why I like it. It's slow, it's repetitive, and melodically and harmonically, it's actually not that eventful. But look, let's have a listen to it. But I absolutely adore this. And when you first pitched the idea of this podcast to me midway through last year, the first song that I thought of when I was confronted with the prospect of talking about number one singles from our past was this song. I just cannot. I think what's the word? Ineffable, I think was the word that you introduced me to a few episodes back. I think this is certainly the apotheosis of 1984. Let's have a listen to Jim Diamond.
Should have known better to lie to one as beautiful as you. Yeah, should have known better to take a chance on ever losing you. But I thought you'd understand. Can you forgive me? I saw you walking by the other day. I know that you saw me, you turned away, and I was lost. You see, I've never loved no one as much as you. I fooled around, but tell me now just who is hurting you. And I shoulda known better to lie to one as beautiful as you. Yeah, I shoulda known better to take a chance on ever losing you. But I thought you'd understand. Can you forgive me? I should know better. Should know better. It's true, I took our love for granted all along, and trying to explain where I went wrong. I just don't know. I cry, but tears don't seem to help me.
All right. Well, tell me firstly, though, Matt, what do you think of it?
Well, I mean, look again. I've reappraised this. I mean, I remember. I think that at the time I didn't mind it. Then I went off it, and now I've had a chance to listen to it again because I know you extolled its virtues, and I do rather like it. I can see. Look, to me, the power ballad is a very dangerous territory. The power ballad. It can be highly effective, or it can fall completely on its backside. first of all, I mean, before you tell me why you think so much of it, I mean, Jim Diamond, I'm really glad he got a number one. He's a bit of a journeyman, wasn't he? I know he worked closely with one of our heroes, Michael Legrand, didn't he, on the film Lady Oscar. And then he was in PhD, wasn't he, with I Won't Let You Down. Funny enough, the title I Should Have Known Better is one of my favourite Beatles tracks off the Hard Day's Night, but that's another thing. Listening to it again, Steph, there's some musical kind of elements there which I quite like. There's a couple of creative chords, and actually I think Jim Diamond sings it very, very well. I probably dismissed it a bit more rapidly than I should have done, and having listened to it again, which of course is the beauty of this podcast, we can reappraise these things. I'm not quite as dismissive as it was, but the power ballad, I have a rocky relationship with the power ballad, and we can venture into dreaded AOR, adult-oriented rock territory, which is probably is in fairness, but I think it's I quite like this. I quite like it, but tell me why you think so highly of it.
Well, we should probably just say a bit more about Jim Diamond, shouldn't we? Because he was,
Sure.
as you say, he before this he'd had a hit, he had a number of 2 or 3 hits, I think, with PhD, which
That's right.
comprised him, Simon Phillips, a well-known session drummer who played with everybody, and I think more in recent, in the last 2 or 3 decades, has been a drummer for Toto after Jeff Porcaro passed away. But he, let me just see that. I think he was. I'm sorry, the third person that was in PhD was keyboard player Tony Hymas. Anyway, so PhD was in the early 80s, and that big song "I Won't Let You Down," another power ballad, Matt, which probably grated on you a bit. But
no, I actually don't mind that. I don't mind.
Okay.
That's so I have a complex relationship with power ballads. Sometimes I really love them.
Well, this one got to number 1, and he had another hit a few years later with Hi Ho Silver, the theme song from Boone, which reached number 5 in 1986. This one, though, coming back to it, reached number 1 in Australia, Portugal, as well as the UK. It was written by Jim Diamond and Graham Lyle.
Yeah, of course, Gallagher and Lyle. I Want to Stay With You, 1976. I think. Yeah.
Gallagher and Lyle co-author of so many well-known songs, including another smash from this year, actually. What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yes.
So it's obviously a good year for them as well. Graham Lyle played acoustic guitar on this, and
it's a nice guitar playing, actually, I've got to say, Steph.
Yeah, and it's a band which also featured Simon Kirke on drums from Bad Company. Producer Pip Williams, who played the guitar solo, and the distinctive sliding fretless bass is played by prolific session musician John McKenzie.
Yeah, and I noticed that there was a nice little bass touches, actually, that sliding fretless bass.
It has three different sequences. Obviously, it's not, like I said, harmonically and melodically, it's not particularly complicated. The first sequence is the sort of the I Should Have Known Better chord pattern, which is an F to a B flat to an A suspended and then up to a D minor,
which is quite a nice little chord. It's quite a nice little chord sequence.
And the suspended chord there is used really well. The second sequence is where then he goes, "I saw you walking by the other day," and that's simply F to B flat to C and then back to F. He then goes back to the first sequence and before going into the chorus, which again is F to B flat to C, but with a different melody, obviously with the main chorus lyric there. I just everything about this, I don't know, it strikes a nerve, and I can't tell you what it is about it and why it is that I should be so affected by it. But and
sometimes you don't need to find the words.
No.
There was that word ineffable again. Sometimes a song you just adore, and I guess that's the beauty of songcraft, isn't it? Some records can really move us, and some records can leave us cold. We don't have to necessarily articulate why. I mean, it can be helpful if we can, but it's not obligatory at all.
And I just remember that it was the backdrop to, it was autumn, it was coming up to Christmas, it was a good year for reasons which you've already said, and it was just a happy time, and it was a song which, to me, takes me straight back to it.
It's a bit of a tearjerker in some ways, isn't it? I mean, it's not a, it's. I mean, unless I'm misreading it.
No, it seems to be somebody again lamenting having mistreated their partner, like George Michael did earlier in the year. But no, but to me, this is one of those songs where it's definitely the music rather than the lyrics which speak to me. And this is it.
He was taken to. I mean, he died 10 years. He was only 64, wasn't he? I think he died in his sleep. I read somewhere, and will always be remembered for this song.
Well, and others as well.
And others, but particularly this one.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he famously and generously said that he didn't want to be number one for a second week. He encouraged people to buy the Band-Aid single instead. He got half that wish because he wasn't number one the following week, but nor was Band-Aid. Instead, we had the third number one from Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
I'll protect you from the hooded claw. Keep the vampires from your door.
Feels like fire. I'm so in love with you. Dreams are like angels. They keep at bay. Love is the light, scaring darkness away. Yeah. I'm so in love with you. Purge the soul. Make love your goal. The power of love, a force from above, cleaning my soul. Flame on burn desire, love with tongues of fire, purge the soul, make love your protect you from the hooded claw. Keep the vampires.
Yeah, I kept that running because I wanted to just play that string section. To me, I love the strings in this, but otherwise, this is the song which has a similar effect on me that Careless Whisper has on you, Matt. What do you have to say about it?
Well, I think I might surprise you here, actually, Steph, because first of all, I think this is a stroke of genius by Frankie Goes to Hollywood after two absolute barnstorming singles, high production, pacey records, Relax, and Two Tribes. They're probably thinking, how the hell can we follow up these two songs? And what they've done here is stripped it right back into a very, very, very sparse arrangement indeed. Actually, as a side thought, how many songs from the 80s called Power of Love can you name?
Three,
yeah.
and they were all in the charts at the same time, if memory serves.
They were, weren't they? They were. Huey Lewis in the News and Jennifer Rush. Now, this was Frankie Goes to Hollywood's third number one of the year of 1984. They became the first act since Jerry and the Pacemakers from the early 60s to have their first three songs reach the number one. I think this is really, really good. I think this is a really emotive song. Again, I'm going to take you back to Cardiff, and I can picture myself the first time I heard this in my room at Cardiff. For some reason, it's pitch black. I'm in the room, curtains drawn, and this came on the radio, and I thought, this is a real departure. This kind of song, it was a gamble by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, because it could have an absolute bomb. Because if people were expecting a Relax or Two Tribes, they didn't get it. I think it's really, really good. I think it's really powerful. The power of love, powerful song. Came from the excellent album Welcome to the Pleasure Dome, which we've just discussed, which came out in time for the Christmas market. We talked about those wonderful interesting readings of established songs like Born to Run, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, and Ferry Across the Mersey. I really like this song. And this was what a great year for the the original. We now say Annus Horribilis, don't we? But the original derivation of that is Annus Mirabilis, which I think was John Dryden poet. And there's one thing I remember from my English degree. This was a great year for Frankie Goes to Hollywood, but it couldn't last, of course, and it didn't. And as we've seen, it fell into all sorts of accusations about kind of people not playing on their records, unable to produce these songs live, and a whole kind of sort of litigation from which Holly Johnson actually emerged triumphant. They were facing accusations. I said they were just puppets in the hands of Trevor Horn and Paul Morley. And Trevor Horn, again, marvellous production on this. Gotta say, Steph.
Well, you can tell there's a proper musician behind it, for sure.
Absolutely. A most awful video, I've got to say, which looks like it's made an nativity play made by the Gravesend and Northfleet Amateur Dramatic Society or something. Again, with Godley and Cream making it. Apparently, the band absolutely hated it. It was made while they were away. A terrible, terrible video. But I rather like this one. In fact, I like it a lot. And I think it's a real stroke of genius and bold to move away from the sort of rabble-rousing, barnstorming production of Two Tribes and Relax to produce this one, which could have gone horribly wrong but didn't, and got to number one, albeit for a week. You don't like it, though. Did
you tell Debbie that you'd protect her from the hooded claw?
I did, and I was always protecting her from the hooded claw. I said, whenever the hooded claw emerges, Deb, I'm going to be there to keep it away.
Well, let's leave that there.
Okay. So you're not a fan?
I can, like you with Careless Whisper, I can appreciate it for what it is, and I can respect it for its context, and particularly in an album which I think was strong. I really like the string arrangements, but the song itself, melodically and lyrically, I think it's a dirge. I think it's what you would describe as a cloying dirge, in my mind.
Cloying dirge, yeah. As I say, but it sort of bookends a incredibly successful year for Frankie Goes to Hollywood, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed it does. It was only number one for 1 week. Jim Diamond got his wish the following week. And I don't think it's almost even trite to say out loud what the number one for the Christmas of 1984 was. Rather than play it, Matt, maybe we'll just talk about it and I'll have it playing in the background. It's obviously there's nothing, all these sort of Easter eggs of information that we normally dig up for these songs would already be known to people, because there's been a number of documentaries about this, one quite recently actually, if memory serves. And it's fascinating stuff. And I musically, I think, it originated as an idea that a sort of a piece of broken crockery, if you like, that Midge Ure had, which he resurrected for these purposes. And I think he was the main, musically, I think he was the main creative force in it. But obviously it was a phenomenon, and we were all moved by that footage that was on the news, and the Michael Burke documentary and Michael Burke report, which led to it. And of course, it's a stuff of legend what it spawned in the years and decades to come. But I think what you wanted to talk about, Matt, was its place in sort of the pantheon of charity singles, because it was by far, it wasn't the first, and obviously not the last.
No, but it ushered in a new era, I think, of charity records. You're absolutely right. I mean, charity records go back, actually, in a way, I mean, almost hundreds of years. I mean, there has been sort of ways, if we take the most simplistic version of a piece of music being used for charitable purposes, and it go back, it sort of become a thing in the 1950s. But the first genuine charity record, I think, was George Harrison, 1971, Bangladesh. Following on the quite horrific humanitarian disaster of late 1970 in what was then East Pakistan, Bangladesh, a cyclone, and I was astonished to read that that 300,000 people died in that, and that may be a conservative estimate. It may even be 500,000 people from the cyclone and the ensuing floods. So there was a precedent for that. But I mean, I remember myself and my roommate at Cardiff, Justin, again hearing this on the radio. It shows how much the radio was important in those days. But hearing this news story come about, we heard about this record, and in fairness, it felt something very, very different was happening. I think it was the sort of number, the stars that had agreed to be on it. As you say, the catalyst had been that incredibly moving news report by Michael Berg, which had really, we'd seen shocking images before, let's face it, but I think the idea to sort of quickly go with that, if you like, and then put a record on the back of that so inextricably linked to that particular site was a stroke of genius. And of course, this is what I said about Usher.
What I particularly remember, sorry to interrupt, what I remember is the image of that emaciated young boy, and he had all these flies landing on him, and he was so used to it that he just didn't flinch, he didn't react, he was just motionless. And that to me was as powerful as anything else in that sequence.
Yeah,
this kid was just so almost hardened to this misery and suffering that he was being exposed to.
You're right, Steph, but I think we had seen those images before, but I don't think we'd seen a sort of record quite so closely attached to it, which was the kind of the power of this. And of course, then after Band-Aid, we had We Are the World, the American version in it, but of course it became almost the accepted thing, and this is a very, very good. The charity record, rather callously, has become somewhat derided. It's almost like we had charity records on the back of Heysel, Zeebrugge, Hillsborough, and of course then various comic relief numbers. So it became a kind of a common trope, I think, and that's got to be a good thing. It'll take a very, very hard-faced cynic to be too critical of these things, but Band-Aid, and I say the Band-Aid phenomenon because it is a phenomenon, led to so many different things. Like the famous Wembley concert in 1985, which was an incredible occasion, wasn't it? And momentum, that brought about by the Band-Aid phenomenon, largely I think accelerated by particularly Bob Geldof. Because Bob Geldof had the right personality to kind of get amongst the establishment and not take no for an answer. He was fed up with stock answers, saying we've got to do something about this. And it was amazing that all these stars, that they were told to leave. They're famously told to leave their egos at the door because the 80s was a time of big egos, and in fairness, they all did. Your Bonos, your Boy Georges, and Bono. I haven't always been a great fan of U2, but I think Bono's line in "Do They Know It's Christmas" is incredibly well sung. It's sort of like
it's lyrically, it's the one that was changed in later versions because the words do grate a bit. Tonight, thank God it's them instead of you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think Bono himself wasn't very happy about it. It may be his the passion with which he's singing it may be railing against the fact that the lyric itself. I don't know, but that's one of the lyrics that they changed in later versions.
Yeah, and I can see why. Do you know why? I can also see why they would use it at the time.
Yeah.
Because it was. You remember, this is a time. I don't want to get overly political. This is not a political statement, but the mid '80s were in the middle of Thatcherism,
exactly.
Which is historically seen as a kind of get rich quick sort of greed decade. It's like everyone get on the housing ladder, make investments for the future, blah blah blah. So that was very much the kind of cultural backdrop to this. It was
and it was quite the counterbalance for it as well. I mean, it's
it was absolutely. And I mean, maybe that may have been kind of sparked by that kind of mentality in society. Thank God it's them, not you. But it's made to think. Hang on a sec. I don't think it was being dismissive. I think it was actually a well-intentioned line, but open to misinterpretation.
Yeah.
But an incredible phenomenon, and All I can say is really congratulations to people. I don't think I don't think we need to really discuss the musical merits of it.
No.
I mean we can do, because it's much.
It's actually not
much
that
more.
bad. I don't think it's that bad a song, actually.
But it's so much more than a song. Is it so much more than a piece of music? And arguably, you could say it's one of the most important pieces of music ever written for whatever. For what it achieved. It's not a bad song. It's a clever song. It's I think it was going to go to number one, whatever.
Yeah.
Very, very important record, Steph, in the context of kind of musical history.
Yes, indeed, and it's been obviously re-recorded. I think 3 or 4 times. Band Aid 2, I think, was in 1989, and Band Aid 20, 30, and 40 were those anniversaries. The Glee cast did a version of it. There was a Band Aid Liverpool version. Most recently, a Lad Baby version. This was in 2022, and he actually got permission to rewrite the lyrics, and it was retitled Food Aid. So it's definitely been used and generated a lot of money over the years. I mean, millions and millions and millions of pounds. But I think I was going to make the point, had you not beaten me to it, that it might be that one of the reasons why it was so successful is because it had that role as a counterbalance for this "I'm all right, Jack," fuck the miners, and that's, excuse me, Mary, but you know what I mean. It's that kind of attitude, and I think that there was a
get rich quick.
There was, and this I think brought out the best in that get rich. In my view, obviously, the sort of dyed in the wool lefty, that get rich quick, I'm all right, Jack approach to life is anathema to me. But I'd like to think that this movement, this song, and this initiative really reminded us all of what we can be when we are at our best.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I know we have a laugh on this podcast, don't we? We could be cynical and we can kind of take the mickey out of things, but I think, going back to those stark images of emaciated children with flies around them, and that was their life, and that was what they just thought was normal, was clearly unacceptable, and is unacceptable. And if it took a charity record to draw attention to that, well, that's no bad thing.
All right. Well, look, that brings us to the end of 1984, and I've really enjoyed talking about it. I don't think I need to say out loud again what my favourite song from the year is, Matt, but maybe a bit more of a struggle for you to find one that you that emerges among the others. And I'm assuming it's not the Reflex.
It's not the Reflex, and it's not Chaka Khan, I feel for you, but it's a tough one actually, Steph. As you say, it's not really my year, this one, but I've actually picked out 3. I thought you were going to, last time you asked me for 3. Go on, give me 3, then I'll give you my 3. See, your number 1 is what? I should have known better.
Absolutely. I think just for its significance and its power, I've got to say, Do They Know It's Christmas? And my third one, scrolling back through this list, I'm going to say Hello.
Okay. Right, well, I'm going to go for The Power of Love. Frankie Goes to Hollywood as my number 1, purely because of the bottle I think the band showed to sort of produce that, and I like it as a song. Well, number 2 is going to be rather lightweight, the Novelty 99 Red Balloons, because it had a certain charm for me. And my third one, which may surprise you, is Freedom, because I like its Northern Soul, Tamla sort of beat. And so there you go.
So this is the second time we've had this conversation. The last time we were talking about 1968. Paul McCartney and the Beatles missed out on your number one that year, and again he has been eschewed. Is that the word for?
Eschewed, I think we can use eschewed.
Can we shoehorn that? I'm going to look it up now because I'm going to.
That's true. Yeah, it does. It does mean ignore. It means kind of like pass over, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's
Which
very
is interesting, isn't it? As someone who died in the wall Beatles fan, but my love of the Beatles is judging them on a body of work and the overall sound. And when we start looking at the more granular individual songs, they might not necessarily be my favourite within a year, as is proving the case.
Yeah.
But no, great. Always fun. There's always lots of talking points, aren't there? Always lots of things. I think what we've seen this year is for my money, the sort of move away to higher production values, sometimes at the expense of musical creativity and invention. Whereas
well, we've got to remember it's around about this time that the first digital keyboards came out that were available to everybody, at a price. I think it was the Yamaha DX7 was the first one, and sampling, early sampling was happening as well, so it may be that people seized that and perhaps overused it, and I think you're right. But
I think that's exactly right, Stephen. In fact, you look at the list of singles. There was not a single song there that I would say is dominated by the guitar, which to me is the kind of the standard instrument of rock music.
Yeah.
I think the only one we can really hear it particularly is The Power of Love, actually, with a bit of acoustic guitar. And I should have known better, perhaps. And then
Hello.
And Hello. But generally speaking, these are synthetically driven numbers. And I think in terms of my own personal alienation from the Charles, we don't really need to look much further than that as an explanatory sort of factor, really.
All right. Now, Matt, before we sign off, we've had a bit of interest from the BBC, haven't we?
We have had some interest from the BBC, actually, and there's something called BBC Upload, which is where anyone effectively can do exactly that, upload their content to a platform, and if the BBC like it, they will play it. Now, Steph and I Steph produced it. We put together a kind of best of kind of extracts from our previous podcasts, and BBC Radio Kent very much liked it, and they put it on a much bigger platform, upload, and it went out across a number of stations. So if you go to BBC Upload and search the Vinyl Chamber, you can find it. Particularly on sounds. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to find a link. Perhaps we can put the link in the chat, Steph, or something.
Well, yes, I can do that, and you'll have to for my purposes, because in their wisdom about a year ago, the BBC decided that BBC Sounds should no longer be available to outside territories. So whereas I used to listen to Pick of the Pops every week, I was no longer able to do that. So it's the same with what you just described. So the only way I can get to it is if you can send me to it somehow.
I'll get it to you.
I'll put it in the YouTube comments if anybody wishes to go down that path and listen to it. Now,
and we're going to get a lot better on our social media, and that was my bag really, but it's just sort of lack of time.
But we do need people to feedback to us, those that are listening, to feedback to us and tell us how we can do better. By all means, tell us how we're already doing well, but I think what's more important is you tell us how we can do better. And if we're droning on a bit too much about things that are only of interest to us and nobody else, then that's probably particularly something we need to we need to hear.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, all that remains then for me is to just introduce this month's Easter egg. Now that's the track which we choose as the outro music, and the convention that we've established over the last 3 discussions, which span 12 episodes, is to find a song or piece of music which has a connection with 1984. And Matt, you kindly acquiesced to the suggestion that I made that we showcase George Michael a bit more, and particularly his vocal ability. And so what we're going to sign off with is his version of Ewan McCall's The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, which of course was made famous by Roberta Flack. And the context for this is that in 1999, George Michael...
Was it Donny Hathaway?
He made... I think... Yeah. Anyway, I think Ewan McCall, recorded it himself as well. George Michael in 1999 released an album called Songs from the Last Century, which basically contained covers of his favourite songs from the 20th century, as we're about to embark upon the millennium. And this was one of them. And to me, this is just glorious. And it's a wonderful song, whoever sings it. But this, I think, George Michael's version is it's particularly emotive, and it's just excellent. So, Matt, thanks again. It's been an honour and a pleasure and a privilege. Happy birthday, Mary. It's probably of no surprise that we don't have these discussions in one hit, and this particular one has been the product of two separate recordings. And overnight, we did one last night, and overnight you posted an image of your parents, which was very heartwarming because they're both looking great. And I haven't seen them for 40 odd years, but I recognise them immediately. So that was delightful.
Thank you. I'll pass on your good wishes.
The other continuity point I should probably acknowledge is that since earlier today I had a haircut. I had a number one all over. So that
do you know? Yeah, well, I did notice that. Actually, I just thought you were going to say you bald bastard, but I mean, what I do feel you've got a bit of an advantage here because you're kind of like end of the day, you're sort of in your prime. I roll out of bed like some pig falling out of its sty,
I haven't been to work today either, actually. I've been given a couple of days off.
Oh, okay, yeah. And as you quite rightly said, the excrescence on my face didn't disappear because I just ran out of time to do that. So I'm actually minded just to go the whole hog and turn into some sort of grotesque sort of vagrant type shuffling around the streets with this huge beard, But I might not, and I might go and get it shaved today. I'm a man of mystery. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, and don't tell me what the answer is, but have you any ideas in your mind about what the next year will be? Have you ever thought about that?
I have some ideas, Steph. I have some ideas.
All right. Okay.
I'm going to keep them under my hat for the time being.
All right.
All
Okay.
will be revealed. We've got the whole gamut of popular music to discuss here, of course.
Yeah. And so we do.
Anyway, I will make a decision in the next few days.
Will you be at the Valley tomorrow for the Charlton Wrexham game?
No, I'm going to be working for BBC Radio Kent, commentating at a.
You're probably better off.
All right, Steph. Look.
All right, mate.
Speak soon. All the best.
Until next time. See ya.
The first time ever I saw your face, I thought the sun rose in your eyes. The moon and the stars were the gifts you gave to the dark and endless skies, my love. To the dark and empty skies. And the first time ever I kissed your mouth, I felt the earth move in my hands command, my love. That was there. And the first time ever I lay with you and felt your heart so close to mine. And I knew our joy would fill the earth and would last till the end of time, my love. It would last till the end of time. The first time ever I saw